Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for this first FestiWell Entrepreneurial Alumni Student Talk. We are hosting today Richard Hugou from the Ouivalo project, so we are very happy to have him today. He will arrive very soon. What is FestiWell? FestiWell, excuse me, is a festival of well-being. And this festival has been created for the celebration of the first anniversary of EUniWell. What is EUniWell? EUniWell is a European university for well-being. It unites 7 completely different universities from all around Europe, and we have a map from this university that we will show you. My colleague Anaïs will maybe just change the slide to to show you the 7 universities I'm talking about. Yeah. So this event is live on these 7 universities right now because the action is on live stream thanks to Benjamin here, and we are here physically in Nantes, and you are behind your screens virtually in these 7 different countries: in France, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, Italy, and Bulgaria. So thank you very much for joining us. This festival is an opportunity for you to gain valuable insights from EUniWell community, to joining the conversation around well-being, and to discover opportunities to get involved. So who am I? I'm Vincent Gouraouen. I'm in charge of the entrepreneurship department here at the University of Nantes. And this department has 3 full staff members. Anaïs is here with us, and you can applaud her. And my colleague Emily too. So we are very happy to offer you this moment with EUniWell, with the EUniWell project. So on the menu today, we have you've got a starter. Sorry, Anaïs, can you just? Thank you. On the starter, you just got your starter. It was me and this little introduction about EUniWell and the FestiWell and Feast. For the main course, we have the great honor of hosting Richard, who just arriving. Will reveal to you the ingredients of his recipe for entrepreneurship. The dessert will be composed by your questions, and your questions behind your screen, because you have the possibility to write on your question on Zoom. And for the coffee time, you'll have a brief presentation of the EUniWell Alumni Mentoring Program by our colleagues from the University of Birmingham. So let's start with the main course. How are you, Richard?
I'm fine, thank you.
I don't know if you.
I'm fine, thank you.
So we are going to talk about your entrepreneurial journey and your. It is. No, it's on.
Hello.
It's on.
So I was saying, I'm fine, thank you.
And we are very happy to hear that, Richard. Richard, can you just begin with your academic parcours, your academic path? What did you study, and who are you? Who is Richard?
So I am Richard. I studied biology during 4 years. And then I did a master degree in management and business administration in a public business school. And then I did 1 year of entrepreneurship courses.
Okay.
Where you have to learn the basis of entrepreneurship in order to make a business come true or not.
And during your studies, what was your wildest dream? If you had one.
I don't have any particular writer's dream. I'm a born dreamer about many things. I love technology. I love science. I love spatial exploration. I'm just curious by nature. And I think being curious led me to entrepreneurship naturally.
Okay.
And working on the food waste processing and composting is just a result of environmental awareness. Sorry for all the English speakers all around the world.
And so your environmental awareness was the trigger about the fact that you created your own project, or was it another trigger?
I had many triggers throughout my journey as a student. My first trigger was my second year at the University of Nantes, and we have to take a course on something that is not related to biology or science. It's to open the mind of the students, and there was a lot of propositions such as making videos, cinemas and stuff, and there was a course on entrepreneurship. I took it just to see. I did a lot of half-made project throughout my life because I get interested in many things. If you tend to do half-made projects, don't worry, you will be an entrepreneur if you want to. And the thing is, it opens my mind because I get to know people that wasn't in the same field as I did, and we did a project together, which is kind of like the platform Skillshare. It is a platform online that shares the skills you have, and so you made short videos like in a YouTube series. We wanted to do something similar, but we didn't get to put the idea into the market because I have a lot of studies to do left, and I wanted to have a degree before doing entrepreneurship. But I don't think you need to have a degree to do entrepreneurship at all.
So after attending your course, you decided to go to a business school, a public business school. Is that right?
I did that in my second year, and after that, I had a lot of entrepreneurship experiences because there is a lot of option in the university to do those kind of projects. So I did like roughly 3 or 4 projects different with some different entrepreneurial adventures and different people. And finally, I think after my 4 years in biology, I did 4 years in biology, and at the end of that, I just decided to go to a public business school in order to learn things like accountancy, law studies
stuff
and stuff.
yeah.
Many legal stuffs. I think it helps me a lot to understand more about running a business.
Can you tell us more about the birth of your first real project?
I wanted to compose the manure. So because I know someone which is called Gunther Polly. I don't know if many people know him, but he did a project in Berlin, which was recycling the diapers of the babies in order to get a fertilizer, and he used it to plant flowers. And I thought to myself, hold on a second, I have a cat. He has litters. It's organic one. Why should I not compost it in the first place? I just thought about that, and I say, okay, logistically speaking, could I do that? It turns out I cannot, because there is a lot of people, and the logistic will get too much expensive. So I start to focus on bigger clients. I tend when I do my ground research. It happens that there is the law that tell to those people, like the people that raise cats. They have a lot of litters, and they are forced to pay for those. So I thought, good, I will be the guy that will collect it for money. It's gonna be fine, right? No, they don't want to pay for that, and they just throw it into the bin, and that was my first mistake.
So you said that you field test your solution. You go on the field,
Yes.
and did you get some help from a program or something like that to do this test to have
While
a
doing this
mentorship?
test, I did a course in entrepreneurship. So it's a 1-year course where you get to learn how to turn an idea into a project and how to turn this project into a business. There is a lot of people that helps you, that provide you some useful courses into commercial stuff, logistic stuff, business model creation, etc., etc., etc. And you have some mentoring, and they helps me a lot to know what my goals are in order to make a viable business. And logistically speaking, my first project wasn't viable at all. So about Ouivalo, what I do now, I was still a student back then, and it hit me. I throw all my food waste through my window because I didn't find any solution to do some composting. So I wanted my food waste to be composted in nature, but not burn after being collected by Nantes Metropole. Sorry, Nantes Metropole.
The city of Nantes.
Yeah. So I realized that I need a solution for me. And at the moment, I was working with 2 other entrepreneurs on many things about food waste processing and mostly composting. And we had 3 different projects, and those 3 different projects get united into a form of collaboration, association, and we just figure out that we need to test something about composting the food waste of our household first. So finding a collecting point, and then we share it to our neighbors. And sharing with our neighbors was the beginning of Ouivalo as you know it now. So we might cover the thing later.
So you met your actual associates during your training, your collective, because I think it's a collective. It's a collective training.
Yeah.
So you are with other entrepreneurs during this year.
Exactly.
And so what were their name again?
Camille and Kevin.
Camille and Kevin.
There is Camille over there on the screen.
Yeah. and we'll see maybe Kevin later.
This is a client of us. It's a grocery store. We will cover it. And Kevin on the left and me on the top.
And as far as I know, you have complementary skills in the team because you have different backgrounds, academic backgrounds. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes. Camille is an expert in design. Kevin did entrepreneurship in private business school. And he did also a degree in engineering and environmental one. Oh, sorry. Anyway, and I'm an expert in biology and business administration.
So, did you find that creating a business alone and creating a business in a team are different ways to create? And if you have an advice, what would be the first track to take for you?
You get to know yourself. If you want to work with someone, first you need to know what you need. And I'm a social being, and I like to work with people that are as crazy as me. And I think the alchemy take place in Ouivalo. But I know many people that are successful entrepreneurs today, and that who does their own project all by themselves. So it depends of who you are and what you want. Um, but you're never truly alone, even if you're a self-made man or woman. Um, you're you have to be surrounded by people that can cover the things you cannot cover. In the case of Ouivalo, we outsource a lot of things because we are not experts in those fields of applications. So we decided to outsource it. We get to have some advices from
Mentor,
specialized advisor,
expert.
from mentors, from structures, in order to help us beginning our project.
Okay, so let's talk about Ouivalo. Can you tell us more about the proposition value, the value prop?
Yes. In order to do Ouivalo, as I mentioned earlier, we work on our household first, and then we were incubated in Audencia Business School. So we put a collecting point at Audencia. So then, in order to let the student put their food waste into the bin. So
it was a test.
Yes, it was the first proof of concept of the collecting points. It wasn't a point where you can compost your food waste. It was just a bin, and then we collect the bin and put it into a composter. So it was the beginning of how we work currently. And nowadays, we work mostly with organic stores and restaurants. So those organic stores have already some food waste collecting points. So they have like a big plastic thing like this. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So they put their food waste in it, and yeah, but the plastic box, 500 liters. Those plastic boxes are collected by a specialist who does composting nearby Nantes. So we say to ourselves, yeah, we can use those and fill those with the food waste of the client of the organic stores. And so we start our first collecting dons at a famous brand, which is Biocop in France. Sorry. We put a collecting dot, and then we throw the food waste into the box of the organic store.
But you put collecting points because you were you were absolutely sure that there was a need to collect this organic waste. But what about the market?
Yes.
How do you know that your collecting points are going to be a success?
We wanted at first to put some branding on the collecting dots you can see on the screen. And thanks to that, with the publicity, we will be able to finance the logistic of the food waste collecting. It doesn't work at all. We try to do some beautiful numerical surface where you can see which clients came at what time, etc., etc., having many informations, what they buy in the market and stuff like that. We put a bill that was like 10k euros or something, and the organic store refused it. So we thought our idea was wrong idea. And then finally, we just told to the organic store and say, what about putting a collecting point just like this one for like maybe 1,500 euros? And he say yes. So we put the collecting dots, and we didn't know how to finance the logistic part because many people told us it's a no-go to ask for the clients of the organic store to pay to compose their food waste. And in fact, they did. they pay for that, and it covers the logistic part of the food waste collecting. And since we explain to them how it works, they are willing to pay because they think they do it's a normal financial contribution to do it.
Like a good action,
Yes.
actually.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah, so this is your business model. You ask people, citizens, to pay to collect their own organic waste. Is
To
that
cover
correct?
the logistic part, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we sell also those collecting points. First of all, we wanted to outsource the making of the collecting points. Turns out it's a shitty idea because it costs a lot, and then you get any penny from what you will do. So we sell those collecting points, and there is also a financial contribution because we create the meeting with the citizens. So we told the organic store, okay, so you have a client, you want to do composting, so we will buy food from your organic stores, and then he came back the next week because he has to do the composting part, and then he came back to buy the food, etc., etc. And it's a good thing to picture how engaged you are in ecologically speaking, or your organic store is engaged.
Thank you, Richard. So, what does the company look like today?
Look like in terms of
people, yeah, your team, your market, your perspective of development.
Camille, Kevin, and I are still in the team today, and there is also 2 people with us, and we pay them, and there is sometimes some internships. So if there is an engineer among all of you, we are looking for an internship in engineering.
What kind of engineering? To do what?
Remote devices.
Remote.
We are still tech addict a bit. And yeah, how Ouivalo look today. So we have like almost 20 collecting points in organic stores and restaurants, and 600 citizens that compost into with Ouivalo today.
Okay, and do you have some new developments in the funnel?
Yes, connecting things, it's still an idea. So we want to have a remote control device that work on batteries, small batteries, that can allow citizens to just use their smartphone or card to open the bin, and the bin can tell us whenever it's filled or not, in order to have some logistic optimization, because it tends to grow significantly these days. We have almost 600 kilos each week of food waste to process, so it starts to be a lot. And we have also a system of inscription for the citizens. So when you get to see our website, ouivalo.fr, ouivalo.fr /composter in French, you can see a map where there is our collecting points, and then you can register and pay throughout a sale channel, and you can see all the information of the collecting point and stuff like that. And there is.
What do you want to say, Richard?
I don't know either. Yes, there is a database where all the citizens are registered, and we do the emailing automatically. So they receive all the information related to the collecting dots, or all the information they might need in order to compose better, or if there is a problem on the collecting dots, etc., etc.
Okay.
So it's more like a CRM, if you know what
customer relationship management. And like you said earlier, you paid a wage to the people you engage in the company, but are you able to earn your living? Do you have financial support by yourself from your side?
we focus the finance on for the two people we engaged, and at the moment I live with the minimum wage. I recommend everyone to do entrepreneurship, even if it means having the minimum wage, because once you're a student, you don't have too much expensive, and when you get a grown man adult, you have many charges. You have to pay your car. You have to pay, I don't know, for a kid. You have to pay for a house. You have to pay for Netflix and stuff like that. So I do think when you have a small pocket, you can do entrepreneurship and live with the minimum, and that's what I did. I don't regret it.
So you don't regret anything, but what do you remember about your experience that you bring back to you now? What did you learn during all your entrepreneurial journey that make you the Richard we have today with us?
Do you have 30 minutes or something?
We have the day.
I get to learn more about myself, but mostly speaking of skills, I developed many things that I thought was impossible to develop back then. But when you're in school, when you learn something, for me, it was all about the marks. I just have to work to get good marks, and when I get good marks, I get happy. It's simple as that. And my parents too. But when you start a business company like I did, sometimes some problems get critical, like a lot, and you are forced to do something about it. And this is where I get the most resourceful. And this is the best school I had in my entire life, and I'm glad I did it.
Because you are not self-confident, or you acquire some self-confidence after your entrepreneurial experience?
What is weird with me is many people told me, "Oh, you're so self-confident. You start your own business. Oh, you're so self-confident. You do theater and stuff like that." And I'm like, I'm not self-confident. I'm just mad at people. I'm happy to talk with people, etc., etc. But at the moment, I feel a little bit shy in front of so many people to talk about my own experience. What I can say is, I'm here. I try, and I will judge the result when it will stop.
So among those skills you have acquired, you can just check mark the speak in public, in front of a public. So.
Speaking in public in English to 7 countries.
No, it's
7
okay.
countries. Oh my god.
So before we conclude, do you have one advice to give to all the students who are with us today?
It doesn't come from me, but I saw a video on TikTok and someone say, don't be shy on doing something. Do it and judge the result. Don't judge your ability to do something or not, because it will lead you to false conclusion. Just do it. Just do it. Judge the result afterwards.
And maybe a little final sentences to conclude this these talks, Richard.
It's Chinese proverbs. I think it's Chinese.
Let's say
Let's say Chinese. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now.
So thank you for attention. So now it's time for the dessert. We have some time to get some questions. If you have in the public some questions, or if you have ones through the Zoom session. So yes, we can share the mic with Richard. So we've got one. Okay, so my colleague Anaïs will take the mic and just guide.
Yes, hello everyone. So we've got a question from Lars. It might have been addressed already, but are you breaking even making a profit?
We do.
Zedou.
We make profits. It grows a little by little, and there is no more things to do with not our current business model, but as I mentioned earlier, we built a CRMO, a customer relationship management system. And this customer relationship management system can be very profitable for other people that is not Ouivalo, but wanted to do the same thing as us. It represents a significant amount of the money we can make nowadays. And also, I think it's more scalable than doing all the logistic we have to do today to do to help the citizen to compost. It doesn't scale up as much as doing just a copy code of our code to someone else. I should not say that.
Do you have another question, Sanaïs?
Not now.
Not from now. I have one, because you mentioned that a CRM and a CMO is quite expensive. So did Ouivalo receive any financial support or won a prize or something like that?
We are really bad at it. So we just did a crowdfunding, and we do auto financement since then. So we raised like 10,500 euros, and we didn't have any money to put on the project when we start. So we just tell to people, hey, we have wonderful ideas, wanna be in? And it works. I think it works like this. And today, I think to develop ourselves better, we need to do that. We need to do that.
Thank you, Richard. You have a question? Yes? Just wait for the mic.
Thank you, Richard, for your contribution to this event. I have one question, because we are talking about well-being. How do you think your project contributes to the well-being of the community?
I never get bored in 2 years.
How about do you have feedback from the community? People are happy with doing the composting. What feedback do you get from them?
Most of them are happy, but we did some mistakes at the beginning, mostly because on the logistic part we weren't so smooth as we are now. So sometimes we get some comments about the smelling, bad feedbacks, but it was back then, and at the moment we do the logistic way better than before, and those feedbacks get away, and most of the people just say things like, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot compost my food waste. I live in an apartment. And we say, oh, do you know Ouivalo? You know, you can do composting into organic grocery stores. Oh, thank you. I will do that then. And there is a smile, and we are happy. That's all.
What the quantity of organic waste do you have take from your collecting points and re-inject in the field of urban agriculture or something?
24 tons at the moment, I think, and it keeps growing. I also missed something about what you say earlier. So, to me, entrepreneurship brings me a lot more confidence into what I do nowadays. It allows me to learn so many things that I just didn't imagine. It was things I don't know. I didn't know. You know, and I learned so many things. I talked to so many people. I'm so proud of what I've did in 2 years, and it keeps getting bigger. And I clearly today don't see what it's gonna become in like 2 or 3 years. it's growing so fast, and at some regard so slowly. um, I think if you have a project, even it's not making a business, but if you have a project, you have to do it really. Just a small stuff like doing dance or art schools or whatever, but just try it, because it will bring you so much in confidence and this ability to learn or having wide dreams, etc., etc. Even though I don't have wide dreams.
A question, yes.
Hi, Richard. I wanted to ask, because we have probably students listening to us from all 6 other partner countries, if they want to import Ouivalo into their cities, in Budapest, in Cologne, in Linus, what would be the 3 key elements of the recipe you would give them to start with?
I don't know about 3, but
maybe 1.
But one thing for sure is to start small. You don't have to get to have the perfect tool to do anything you want, because once you're gonna start, especially in something that doesn't exist when we started, we wanted to do everything, almost everything. We wanted to mind games and stuff, and we like, okay, if they do that, we're gonna do that and that and that and that. And it turns out all of our predictions turn wrong. So just start simple, and proof of concept or minimum viable product works perfectly fine. On the screen, you can see some cargo bag we made out of wood. It was the minimum at the moment to collect the food waste, and it works perfectly fine. That's all come from there. And now we have wonderful collecting points made out of woods and metals. We have a customer relationship management system, but back then we just get shy, and we take so much time to thinking what could go wrong instead of doing the stuff that we lost a lot of time. So one advice is just do it, even if it's dirty, even if it's quick. It will do the job, and then all the feedbacks you're gonna have from clients are more precious than any planning you can do.
Thank you, Richard. Do you have some question from our friends behind their screens? Nice.
Yes, from students, from Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Yes, they want to know if Ouivalo expected to grow in the next few years with a bigger team. That's the first question. And the other one is it connected to other local projects in the sustainable field? And how do all the actors and young entrepreneurs work on the subject together? So 2 questions.
Yes. For the first question, we want to grow by 3 in 6 months. So we do a lot of commercial stuff to say to anyone, hey, there is collecting dots, which is Ouivalo once. Before it was really hard because we just had 1, or for the first time 0. Now it's getting easier and easier, so we can now do some good predictions about how we're gonna grow in the next 6 months. During the next year, I think we're gonna focus more about the customer relationship management system, which is a huge part of what we do now. And we want to grow on this market, but at the moment we just have ourselves, like just one client is ourselves. And when we're gonna have the second one and the third one and the fourth one, we're gonna expect to grow little by little, just as we did with Ouivalo. Having a new employee, maybe. I don't know, we say alternant in English, but Yes, it's like there is a student and he has to do a part-time between studying and working into a company. So we like this format. We want to take one in engineering maybe. And this is pretty much all we want to do in terms of employing someone. And I didn't get to remember the I think it will focus more on giving them the tools they need to do a Ouivalo like, or to just having a small part of what we make today, helping them to do the logistic stuff, etc., planning. All you have to plan when you work in the Ouivalo field.
Some tools like your CRM, and you are building a community around organic waste. But there are other actors who are collecting organic waste by bike, like yeah. So do you work with them? Do you have Are they competitors?
We wanted to work with them. They were happy to do it. And then there is the COVID time. And since the business was related to collecting the food waste of the restaurant, I guess it didn't go so well. So they decided to do almost the same thing as us. So we are glad at the same time they did that, because it gave us more more exposure at the same time, and potential client for our custom relationship management system. Doing the logistic part is something well known. Doing CRM is something well known. Doing CRM in this field is something that doesn't exist today, and if we are the one to do it, we will be happy to do it.
Thank you very much, Richard. We have to conclude here, so we get some applause. Thank you very much.
Maybe, Vincent, we
Yes.
can take just another one question.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Excuse me,
Because-
Anaïs.
No, it's okay. Because we've got a question from Valérie, which is: have you already thought about other issues than composting to add value to this waste, like the sectors on green hydrogen or biomaterials?
It was a part of Kevin once we start together. We just focused on something more on the ground. Composting is something we tend to do more easily and doesn't require small advanced tech mechanisms and big investment as well. That's why we outsource the composting part. And mushroom growing is a lead we want to explore because there are gonna be a lot of compost. And first of all, we wanted to share the compost with the citizens that took part of took a part in the project. But the thing is, citizens just want like 5 liters of compost for a year, so nobody knows what they're gonna do about this compost. So put it into landfills is something that we can work with. But I really want to grow mushroom on them, because mushroom can convert up to 30% of the compost into mushroom matter, and we can sell them. So there is something to do with the compost, like growing mushrooms that grow from the food waste you put, and all of that in 30 kilometers array. It is something that I really want to experiment. But there is legal issues about people putting some kind of food waste that cannot be suitable for growing mushrooms. So flowers can be something. Thank you, Gontopoli, if you see me. And there is also I didn't mention that earlier, but we work with professional, and professional brings us more capital, more certain capital into our business model, and they have the ability to know what they put inside the bin, and so it's more easier to think about a system like a mushroom growing on those kind of stuff. So maybe in the coming years we're gonna have two kind of collecting, the one for the professional and the one for the citizens.
Thank you, Richard. So it's time for a conclusion of this FestiWell Entrepreneurial Alumni Student Talks. Is it written in French, but you have certainly the same in your universities? If you have an interest for to acquire some skills and develop your entrepreneurial mindset, don't hesitate to knock at the door of your entrepreneurship department to discover, to learn about, and to take the plunge. If you are, like Richard said, if you will, to change the world and to spread some more well-being all around us and all around European countries. Maybe next slide, Anaïs, please. Yes, we have a newsletter. If you want to improve your French, you can subscribe at it because it's all in French. And here at Nantes, you can subscribe to it. Will be more easier for you to understand what the news and all the finance stuff we share and our workshops. This inspirational talks are monthly. They are monthly attended here and on one and off other side of Nantes University of Nantes, excuse me. So don't hesitate to subscribe. And the last one, if you have an idea of a project, an email address for those in Italy, in Germany, in Sweden, I don't think we can help you a lot, but once again, you have an entrepreneurship department in your universities. So thank you, everyone. We were very happy to have you today. And the next appointment for you, if you want to continue in this festival, it's the inaugural lecture of Wellbeing Research Lecture Series by Professor Boton Rosca from I don't know, from do you know where from Switzerland. So that's it. Thank you very much, and see you at the next rendezvous. Bye-bye.